Welcome everybody to another exciting edition of the Sports Soul. I'm your host, Luke. With me as always, XFL Jim, rock and roll Matty Goldberg. Getting attacked by a killer dog over there.
What up, boys? Oh, speaking of dogs, I was around certain neighborhoods today, this rich neighborhood. This lady had a 9-week-old French bulldog.
Oh, cute.
That was
I
adorable.
love Frenchies.
Loved it, but she paid $3,000 for it, she said.
You should have stolen it. Then you would have stolen
$3,000.
$3,000.
Yeah, and it was like she had the breeding rights for it too, so she's gonna be making some money.
I always wondered about that. Like my dog got some, golden doodle, and he had to he couldn't breed it. And I'm like, are you supposed to mail the nuts back after you get
put them in a jar?
Like, how do they monitor?
I really don't
shit?
know how they keep you from doing it.
Yeah, like I know
You gotta put them in a jar.
I think you need like paperwork or something for it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, what's to stop a dog from fucking? I don't know.
Thought this was a free country,
right? One would think. What's going on with you, Jim? How was your week?
Things are going pretty good. Work is a little like up in the air right now, so we're the vibes that I'm going with right now. The vibes at home are really good. The vibes for content are really good. The vibes at work have maybe never been lower.
Really? Why such?
They're in like a cash crunch right now.
You just said vibes 3 times.
Yeah, they have some
Please,
investors.
get that word out of your.
Never, Maddie. But they have like a cash problem right now. They had an investor back out.
Oh no!
So they've gone. It's been like step by step by step. It was like, okay, now we need to fill out all these daily reports to make sure that we're saving the company money. Now we need to, we're capping you guys at 40 hours a week. We're trying to like limit overtime a little bit. And then last Friday, it was like, okay, we're going to allow people to do voluntary resignations is what they call it.
Oh, shit.
So do you think they're going to lay you off soon?
No, I don't think I'm in any worry. I think everything that I've been talking with, like the manager, the senior manager, everything like that, I'm not really too worried. This was more of a move to get people who are like on the table or like on the fence. Like people, like one of the guys working here for like 10 years. He was like thinking about retiring anyway.
Oh, okay.
But they're just like, okay, get him out now.
Right. So they're just cutting the fat.
They're cutting the fat, but they did say potentially layoffs are coming. Like just regular layoffs.
Be careful, buddy.
I'm not too worried for me.
You can move back to LA.
Yeah.
Yeah, with like less money in my pocket this time.
Yeah. What do you mean? There's people living all around there with less money than you.
How's the lady's health? She doing good? The back?
Yeah, I would say so.
Great. And you feeling okay at the XFL season, the UFL season? Are you?
UFL season's done. I thought it would be very funny. I don't know, maybe this is just my head, but I'm doing a 2-week after the season ends championship recap.
I love it.
So my championship recap comes out this Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to do a whole season autopsy because I have a lot of takes on like things they did well, things they fucked up on for season 2 of the UFL. And I have a lot of hope.
And it's been
for
renewed for
season 3.
Season 3 already?
Yes, confirmed.
Okay.
Season 3, not worried.
A great
potential expansion teams unknown.
Yeah,
we don't know if they're going to expand, but season 3 is confirmed.
At
the very least, I hope they move the championship game out of St. Louis.
I heard Silver Lake's getting a team in LA.
Oh yeah.
What about? I think Pomona was up first.
Yeah, Pomona.
If they did like San Diego, that would be sick though.
That would be fun.
That would
or Oakland.
What do you guys? I was gonna say something, but I forgot. It's been a busy day.
Maddie, I did want to.
Why are you so busy?
I want to tell my condolences to Maddie for his Pacers ticket.
Yeah, I'll say this. Like, I got some. I'm a big Halliburton guy. I just love his passion. I love the way he plays, and it just like, as soon as I saw him go down, I saw him cry, and I saw him like pound the floor. You just felt like. You felt sick for him. You felt sick for his team, but you knew okay, it's over. Like, cause I was getting pissed because people were telling me like, oh, he's not that good or he's overrated. He's the quarterback of that team. He makes that team go.
Yeah.
He's got the ice water in his veins to take the big shot. And they hung on till halftime, but you just kind of knew like
I was upset that it ruined a pretty good game, like what was going to be a really good
Yeah.
game 7.
It
Yeah, it
felt
really
like
did. It kind of like it kind of killed like that. Cause like I was like, this is like the Super Bowl. It was that
Mm-hmm.
exciting, And then when he went down, and in the third quarter, Oklahoma City opened it up. You were like, all right, okay, whatever.
worse ending, Sopranos or Pacers versus Thunder?
Pacers
Well,
Thunder 100%.
Pacers Thunder.
I've come around on the Sopranos ending.
I'm actually honest. I am a huge fan of the Sopranos ending. I thought
You know
it was
what?
brilliant.
I've come around on it. Have you seen the theories for it, Maddie?
Well, I'll tell you why. Goodfellas is my favorite movie, and there's a great line in Goodfellas when the cops arrest Henry Hill. And they're like, "Don't you fucking move, motherfucker." He goes, "If they were wise guys, I wouldn't hear a thing. I'd be dead."
Yep.
And I always thought about that when I saw the end of Sopranos, and it's the idea of like you don't see it coming. If you rewatch the last 2 minutes, there are some fishy guys that walk in the diner, and that is the whole point. You don't see it coming. Like 1 second you're living, and that's the way the mafia they get whacked. Like in the 80s, guys were getting whacked outside of like Italian restaurants after dinner in the middle of the street. This was pretty common, so I think that's what they were trying to do.
Well,
People wanted. Oh, I'll go on, Luke.
No, I'll just say, like, honestly, like, I'm very forgiving for TV shows because even when it's a bad ending, it often doesn't take away from what you experienced.
Sure.
This ending, though, kind of felt like this took away from the whole thing. Like,
this was more like Matt, are you just talking about the game, Maddie, or are you talking about
the Sopranos?
I think Luke was talking about the game, right?
Okay. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
I was talking about the Sopranos.
To me, like game 7, it's not like just one bad episode or a bad ending. It's imagine if like it's a bad last season of a show. Yeah. That can fuck up a whole thing.
It killed it because it was like it's like going on a big trip and then your tires.
Tell Jake to shut the fuck up. We're trying to do a show.
He's dying back there.
It's wild that they decided to play basketball the second we start.
They've been doing this 2 weeks in a row. You got to put your foot down, man.
Well, the weather cools down around this time, but so it just was a bummer. But again, the Sopranos ending was so good because it signifies that idea of you don't see it coming, you don't know who it is, and then you're dead, and then everything goes. And they even mentioned it a few episodes before about dying, and they were like, when you die, just everything goes to black, and then that's what happened.
But also, that was at the last very moment of the last very episode of the show. This happened like in the first quarter? Yeah.
And not only that, he hit 3 threes.
Right. So he came out on fire.
He was fired up.
He was locked in, and you just felt like this is going to be a classic.
Yeah.
And then, like it just took the air out of the game. And I was like, this is way too hard for them to overcome. Like they can manage for like a few minutes.
I mean, they held it close up until like the third quarter, I think.
Yeah. See, like what they were doing with Halliburton is they knew he was hurt. And they were trying to get through the season, and they almost did.
Yeah.
And he would sit out the end of the first quarter for like 2 minutes, and then the second quarter for about 3-4 minutes. And probably if he was in better health, that would be cut in half. But I could tell that they were trying to like really ration his minutes. And he just like it just seemed like his leg was hanging on by a string, and it was just bound to happen. He was just trying to get through it, and he probably fucked his career up for his team, which is admirable. And what every guy on his team said about him is pretty admirable. And another guy might have been like, "I'm out for the year," and he didn't do that.
Oh, he is, and it's like, well, now he's out for the year. And I don't know. This is a tough position. The Pacers, you still have a pretty good team, but it's now you're talking like a first or second round exit next year if you make the playoffs at all. I assume they will. I think they still get enough guns to do it, but this is bad. Yeah.
Well, I can't fault the guy for doing all he can for his team.
No, not at all.
How
I don't think
many?
anybody is, and I think a lot of the haters are probably, they turn towards him after this as
Well, you're
well.
damned if you're due, because like let's say in the next series he shuts it down, and they're like, look, you're hanging on by a string, like your leg is a rubber band right now, and it's gonna snap. We don't know when it is. You might make it to the end, and you'll have to rehab, or you can shut it down, rest it, maybe get a minor surgery, and you'll be ready for next year.
So they're talking about like the Achilles is sort of becoming like the Tommy John,
Yeah,
the elbow of basketball. And
There's
yeah.
so many Achilles injuries.
what they're
know.
attributing this to is that like, back in the day when kids were growing up, they'd play all different sports. You
Yeah.
didn't specialize in one sport.
Sure.
And now, like, if you show promise as a basketball player when you're like 10, that's all you're going to play.
Yeah.
And so now you're getting the same problems and the same joints as opposed to the different motions you would have if you played different sports.
So you suggesting these guys play all the sports?
At least in like
or
like high school and
rest,
stuff. Why not?
or just
Maybe
rest,
Pat Mahomes,
Would it hurt to shorten the season?
after his really great first season he played, there was video of him playing basketball, like pickup basketball, and obviously he's pretty fucking good. And they were like, no. So
Well,
like,
it's not the fact that you're playing the different sport; it's the fact you're not doing the same motion. So you'd be just as well off sitting on your ass or doing just basic calisthenics,
Yeah.
Because when you're like running full in the way he runs too, where he just sprints down that court too.
Mhm.
Yeah, he has a different style of dribbling of his feet. He's almost like he uses both feet are moving at the same time.
Yeah.
It's like he's hopping when he plays, which is kind of fun to watch. But just that's the other thing. Like, I love Siakam, so he's like if
he was
Halliburton,
fantastic.
Batman,
He could have been the MVP if they would have won it.
and the thing is though, Halliburton's the MVP because he makes everything go. Everything goes through him.
Yeah.
Like how they space, how they get guys open for threes. And they had a strategy, and I loved it. It's like the Celtics won a championship because they were a really good team last year, but they can get extremely hot at threes. And I could feel that the Pacers were like, the only way we can win game 7 is we just have to hit every fucking three.
Yeah.
And if we do that, we can win. And they kind of, with Halliburton and the way they space and that he can hit all these outside, and then they start D'ing up on him. Other guys get open. There was a lot of possibilities. But once they lost him, they didn't have that. So as good as Siakam is, Halliburton still is the fucking show for that team.
Yeah, he was. I mean, even when he didn't put up numbers, he was always impactful.
Yes, absolutely.
But it was still a great series, and it's just a shame.
It was.
If it wouldn't have been, I mean, that's just why there is that disappointment, because it was such a good series and an unlikely great series.
I'll leave you a quote from Bill Simmons.
Oh, thank you.
He said, I'll be thinking more about the team that lost than the team that won.
Yeah.
And I know that might not be you like, I'm sure a lot of OKC fans are like, that's fucked. Like,
it does suck for OKC too.
It just feels kind of like the bubble win now, like when the Lakers won the bubble, you're like, okay, it just feels different than what it should.
But sometimes when you have
it's all Caruso's fault.
Yeah.
It's all Caruso's fault. 100%.
It just seemed like one team was really good and the other team was like this fun underdog team. And sometimes people get wrapped up in the Pacers story where OKC is loaded. I mean, they're
loaded. They had a top 10 pick that didn't even play for them. They're very nice guys.
They're a very classy team, I will say that.
No, they're great. Like if they didn't get involved in this series with this likable underdog, I would have been rooting for them the whole way.
Sure.
I've liked their organization. All the players on their team are great players.
Yeah.
You got Chet Holmgren, who looks like Abraham Lincoln out there, just like.
Yeah.
Did
And
you guys?
they're going to be so much better too, because I think
know.
Chet's got a whole nother level he's going to hit too. If
I mean, it's smart on that Hartenstein, who's a very good role player.
Yeah.
He was on the Knicks, and he was very liked on the Knicks. He did very well there, but he left.
You
to go
need
to
those
OKC.
guys. You can't just win,
Yeah.
with the top 2 or 3. You got to
No.
have solid, really good role
Yes.
players, and he was
Absolutely.
great.
Did you guys hear that, like, during the parade and celebration and whatnot, like a lot of Oklahoma City guys, this was like their first time having a beer?
No,
not
but
heard
they're
of
Like,
all
they just
young,
don't
so-
drink. Yeah. They just
Times
never
have
drink.
changed, my friend. Times have changed.
Yeah, Caruso said something about like finally a real one, alluding to the bubble, and he's like,
Yep.
"Man, I had like 3 beers by then." I'm like, "What? 3 beers is nothing."
Well, Caruso probably went. I assume someone like him goes hard. He's like
Maybe
one of the
not.
older guys in the locker room.
I know, but he's like he was such an like an unheralded prospect that he probably had to like be on tip top on
Oh,
everything.
maybe.
I my only regret with him is he started shaving his head instead of just having that really bad hairline which
I
looked
miss
like
it.
he was
I
from
do
the
miss it.
70s. That was the best when he was dunking with that hairline. That was the greatest thing in the story that year when he came out of nowhere.
Did you guys see how like tiny the parade was?
No, I
It,
did.
it was very tiny. People
You
were
know,
making fun. People were giving shit to it all
That's
the
terrible.
I
Oklahoma
love
City
it.
has nothing else.
They haven't seen a New Jersey Devil parade. They used to do those in the parking lot, and they would get like, say, 5,000-6,000 people.
Now people were
Was it just a
comparing it.
rally or an actual parade? Like
It was like a parade in their parking lot
Oh
in
my
the
God.
Meadowlands. This is like the mid '90s, so I grew up like I actually live closer to the Meadowlands than like Madison Square Garden. It's really weird how New York is.
yeah.
Some places are closer to New Jersey. So like a lot of my friends were Devils fans, and they won in '95. And I remember the parade was literally in their parking lot, like on asphalt, with like maybe 5,000-6,000 people.
I bet it was really hot in Oklahoma too.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet it was hot as fuck.
It's not a fun place.
You know, it's got to be
Oklahoma.
pissed at Seattle. I mean, they still love their Supersonics, and to them, like, they like this. The Supersonics fans has this like grunge, Nirvana,
Yeah.
Alice in Chains. Were depressed, like
Sure.
you could like when
And they had
Durant-
some of the best
Harden and-
uniforms of all time.
yeah,
too,
they
you
had
know?
great uniforms, the green and yellow.
Yeah.
And they anytime OKC is good, it's always like this is the crust we have to bear, and it sucks because I heard they might be an expansion team, and they're not going to be able to use the name the Supersonics.
No, I think they get that back if they get that team.
I heard.
Do they? Is
I
it not
didn't-
like the NFL with the Oilers and everything?
I don't know, but it sucks. I love the
Well-
Oilers uniforms too.
I don't know. I've heard it would be the right thing to do.
Jim, were you ever
That
alive
definitely would be
for
the right thing to do, but I don't think that doesn't mean they're gonna do it.
Jim, were you ever alive for the Houston Oilers?
When did they change to the
I'm going to
Titans?
say 97, 98, 96.
Then I would have been alive for either 2, 3, or 4 years.
How old are you?
I'm 31. I was born in 94.
Yeah, you were alive for a couple of years.
Yeah,
you
for
were
like a
also-
couple years of it.
You were 1 year old when the Cleveland Browns became the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah.
So, by the way, the whole Supersonic name, logo, all that is reserved if Seattle gets an expansion team.
By the way, very sad
Okay.
day in Seattle
Yeah.
sports.
That was part of
The
the agreement
pitcher-
before they left.
The pitcher that pitched the first game for the Seattle Pilots, which became the Mariners, died today. I don't know his name, but he was like in his 80s.
Well, what year was that?
69.
Seattle Pilots? I never knew that was.
Yeah. I think
That's
they were
good.
the
should have kept
Milwaukee
that name.
Braves.
I like that.
It was like the Boston Braves, or no, they became the Atlanta Braves. The Milwaukee or the Washington Senators, I think, became the Seattle Pilots, became the Seattle Mariners.
Oh yeah. You guys watching the NFL draft right now? I mean,
NBA.
the NBA draft.
No.
I did not. but I know Cooper Flagg. There's no mystery. And
Yeah,
then,
nothing
like,
too exciting.
yeah, nobody really cares after number 1, right?
Well, it's still a good draft. I mean, Dylan
Yeah.
Harper's a good prospect, but then Ace Bailey, who wouldn't work out for any team, got drafted by Utah. Like,
Hell
so
yeah.
when people do that, they think that they really just want to go to a particular team, and they've been having private conversations. And I heard that he wanted to go to like either Brooklyn or New Orleans for some reason, and then like this was not one of the teams he wanted to go to, and they went ahead and picked him anyways. So
Is he gonna be a pain in the butt?
who knows? I mean, the thing is like you got to play ball if you want to make
Yeah.
money and get to that
Yeah.
second contract. You
Hey,
got to
man,
ball.
Jim Kelly didn't want to play in Buffalo. Now he lives there, and he sucks Buffalo's dick. So
I don't blame him. I would too if I were him.
Yeah.
You think Ace Bailey will suck Utah's dick at some
I don't know.
Never
I don't know if they
Some of
allow
these guys-
that. Maybe he'll convert to Mormonism.
I'll tell you
Yeah.
this: some guys go, "I don't want to play somewhere," and they cry and they moan, and then 3 years in, they're like, "I love it here," and then they live there the rest of their life. I don't think Jim Kelly ever thought he would be living in Buffalo in his 60s.
So this is interesting. My observation here. There was not like a foreign player until drafted this year because it's been pretty, dominated by a lot of foreign players. But 10th is the one, and that guy played at Duke, the Moloch guy.
Yeah.
But the first one who didn't play, for a college team, it was 12, another Frenchman, Noah Aseng.
Did Clayton get drafted yet or no?
Who?
Richard Clayton.
No.
He was a star in
Walter
Florida.
Clayton.
Yeah, Walter.
Yeah. He's with the Wizards.
That's got to be like basketball Siberia.
There's a great name.
I feel like that's
though.
just where players go to give up.
Dude,
Yeah,
Liam McNeely.
they don't have Jordan Poole there anymore either. So they're
Liam McNeely went in the draft.
what?
Liam McNeely's in the draft.
Like, has he gone or is he just in the draft?
Well, he was a freshman. I thought he would go to UConn for a while.
Ah.
Hold on, let me take a look at the picks so far. Ace Bailey, Edgar Denham. I like him on BYU. Yang Hansen from China. I don't know him.
I bet you, Maddie, you're not familiar with the Chinese legend of Yang.
Yeah,
Walter
that's the
Clayton.
name I was going to bring up. Yang Hansen.
Walter Clayton.
The most
was traded-
Chinese name of
Right.
all time.
Yo, Walter Clayton was traded to Utah.
Oh, he was?
Yeah.
Oh, traded. Okay, I see it now. Yeah. Well, he can have fun with Ace Bailey.
I kind of like fears on the Pelicans.
The Pelicans, if they decide to move on from Zion, they could start winning games if they get some.
I think Zion was a big bust, huh?
Literally, like, I mean, the dude just eats his way out of the league. I don't know, like, I mean, what sucks about him is like he's really shown he can ball when he plays.
When he gives a shit.
Yeah, when he gives a shit. But he's
So-
never healthy.
Looking at this draft, it's kind of crazy that Duke didn't make the championship game even.
One of the most colossal.
Well, Maddie was
Wow.
saying this about
Did you see that,
Maryland,
Maddie?
too.
Did you see that? They got
Yeah.
three.
Or
Three in the
yeah.
top 10.
Rutgers
Yeah,
had two of the
Rutgers-
top 5,
What
yeah,
the
Rutgers
fuck?
didn't even make
and
the
they didn't even make the
tournament.
tournament.
What the
This
fuck?
is what I've been telling you, Maddie. Like it doesn't matter that you have these blue chippers.
Dude, if I
like,
was a coach and
you
I had
need the
two top
fifth-year
5
white
guys,
guy. That's
they make
transferred
the
3
tournament.
times.
Yeah,
That's
you
what
need you need them NIL boys. That's what
Yeah.
you need.
So, what do you guys think? You guys think Dallas has a shot this year? Now
course.
that they're going to have
Yeah.
Cooper Flagg, who I think as a third option or fourth option. I don't know who else is going to be on the team, but
if AD is healthy,
Kyrie, baby.
they
Kyrie.
looked really good for that one. Those 3 quarters that AD and Kyrie played together.
I would not be surprised to see them back like in playoff contention. Not at all.
I think if they're all healthy, which is the biggest if of all. Kyrie
I
can't
think they
return
can be
until like
healthy. If they're
January.
healthy, they'll
but
be dangerous. Yeah.
So he'll be in form. But I mean, if AD mainly stays healthy,
I think he'll have a better.
Luke, just no.
always disabled.
To say, if he is healthy, if they make the playoffs and he's healthy, maybe they could do damage.
Yes, if he's healthy, he's like
at that point in the season.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think they're in a really weird position where it's like you're kind of close where you could win now if you round out your roster and AD's healthy.
If Flagg like is developed is like what everyone's claiming he can be, then yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And we also had some other news.
Sorry, first white dude selected overall since like the 70s, by the way.
American white dude.
The Europeans aren't white. Let's just get that.
We had Andrew Bogut from Australia.
Okay, that's fine. We'll allow it.
Maddie, were there any other white dudes taking number one from a weird country?
I can't think of any, but I don't know. I think it was. I don't know when Larry Bird was drafted, but Larry was an interesting one because
he wasn't one though, was he?
No, because he was drafted a year before he played.
Oh yeah.
So the Celtics figured out
that back in the day.
The Celtics figured out some loophole how to like get him a year before. So they drafted him like second or third or something. I don't know, but I can't think of any American white player that was drafted first.
Or any other white guy from
As a matter of fact, there's like a tough one. Is like, who are the last two foreign players to be drafted first overall? And it's a trick question.
Are you saying besides Victor Wembanyama?
And Zachary Ricochet?
No, it was
Alexander Sarr?
I think it's Wiggins, who's Canadian. Andrew Wiggins. So it's kind of a trick question.
I like that. You don't think of them.
Yeah. Wait, what about him? He was
number one pick. So the last two foreign players.
Well, Maddie, that's the 51st state. Let's be real, though.
Yeah. Well, if Trump has his way, Canada will be ours. They got a good soccer team. I was watching their soccer game last night. They can play.
Well, yeah, Steve Nash tried out for their national team.
Oh, I should talk about soccer.
Soccer talk.
It's
that time of year.
Tell me what you think, you guys.
Yes.
So we have the best American player we've ever had. This cat, Christian Pulisic. He can play. I've seen him. He's worth the hype. He scored a goal last year in the World Cup, and then he got hurt. Some guy, they fucked his stomach up real bad. But he can fucking play. Like, he plays in England. Like, I could be wrong, but
what's his name, Maddie? What's his name?
Christian Pulisic. Yeah.
Church.
So we have a thing called the Gold Cup that we're hosting right now. It's not a lot of great teams. Maybe Mexico is the second best team. Canada. We're playing like Jamaica, Dominican Republic, a lot of Central American teams, Honduras, whatever. Landon Donovan and Clint Dempsey are two like best ambassadors. They're pissed that Pulisic isn't playing in this tournament. He feels like I get better experience playing in England, playing like with the better competition.
You're playing in the Premier League.
But I don't know. He should. Don't you think he should like come out here and play these games?
He doesn't play for in the Premier League right now, by the way.
Where does he play?
They always switch.
He plays in Italy.
So that's even better.
Yeah, he plays for AC Milan.
Okay, so that's how good that is.
Though.
Yeah, it is a top team in Italy.
So
he used to play for Chelsea.
Okay, so they want him like, listen, get your fucking ass in this tournament. I know it's like a step up below, but like build chemistry with your team. Let's put our best team out there. Yeah. Let's like learn how to win now. And so there's like, what do you guys think?
Well, they're in season right now, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. And that's the thing. I'm kind of torn between the two ideas because I think if you really love your country and you want to play here, you probably should play here. But I also understand like one of the coach they had from Germany, I forget his name. He was a coach like 15 years ago. there's different philosophies in America with soccer. Some people is like, get everybody in MLS. Let's develop there. And his thing is like, these guys need to be playing in Europe against the best if we really want to get really great at soccer. So there's this like argument of like, where should Christian Pulisic play, and should he play in this tournament? I kind of want him in this tournament. I want to see him. I want to see him.
I would love to
nice,
see it.
but like it's all these Euro players that are playing. Like, let's have Victor Wembanyama and all the French people, which there's a ton of now. Let's keep them in France. Like, or
no
should
sense.
you be playing against like, LeBron James and Kevin Durant? And
so you're on the other side.
I mean, I get it. It would be nice to have him available when we need him for national teams, but also it's like, I think he's doing more just being an excellent player on like one of the best teams in the world.
I see both sides.
Yeah, of course. Nationally, yeah, you'd love him out there playing. You'd love him to
Landon Donovan and fucking, Dempsey are just like, he needs to be. They're disappointed in him. And they're calling.
I get it. I mean, from their point of view, yeah.
I mean, he's like under contract though, too.
Yeah, but usually in these tournaments, like you get like, I don't know how the contract.
I really don't fully understand how soccer seasons work. If I'm being honest,
no one knows.
It's kind of a mystery.
Because
like there's a whole club tournament thing going on too at the same time, isn't there? Like, I just watched a game a couple nights ago because there's nothing else on. I was doing some laundry, and it was like Inter Miami versus like some team in Central America.
Sure.
That just happened in Europe too, where all the club teams were playing each other off from all the different leagues.
The UEFA.
Yeah. We're the CONCACAF.
The CONCACAF.
CONCACAF. Cup.
That also has Saudi Arabia in it.
It really is.
Yeah, I heard Saudi Arabia's in the CONCACAF.
That makes no fucking
Yeah, they're
sense.
in the CONCACAF.
Yeah. They bought their way in or something.
Yeah, they're in.
Of course they
do. It is weird. It makes no sense because it's like, it's kind of like what the Big Ten is. So you're like, wait a minute, UCLA and USC is the Big Ten,
right?
So like Saudi Arabia is in this tournament with Honduras, Jamaica, the DR, Canada, El Salvador, United States. Okay,
that's funny.
I don't know. I like to see him gain. I'd like all to see. USA has played good, not great in this tournament. I would love to see him with all their big guns. I would love to see them do a year, because the World Cup is next year. It's in America, so it's a big deal. I love to see him
Where's it at?
All over.
Oh, is it just all over?
I think United States and Mexico all over.
You talking about the World Cup?
I think the final game might be at SoFi.
Yeah, I'm going.
You talking about the World Cup, boys? You're gonna go?
Yeah, you were born, Jim. The last time the World Cup was in America.
It's going to be insanely expensive.
1994, right? You were born that year?
Yep.
Yeah, that was it. I remember all those games, and that was the year that we beat Colombia.
It was a lot of fun, yeah.
A guy got shot and killed, the defenseman.
Do you want? I have the list of all the teams that are going to be here that are going to be used for the World Cup this coming year.
Okay.
So you got Mexico City, all the cities, I mean.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got Mexico City.
Mm-hmm.
You got New York City at MetLife.
Omaha.
You got Dallas. You got Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
You got Houston. You got Atlanta. You got Los Angeles. You got Seattle. You have San Francisco. You have Philadelphia, Miami, Boston, Vancouver, Monterey, Guadalajara, and Toronto.
I love it.
Those are all like big soccer places too.
It's wild too.
Like Seattle, it's huge
Seattle's
up there.
Huge.
I remember going up there and everybody's like dressed in their scarves. They're going to the game. It was the same in Portland too.
Yeah, they're huge there.
Yeah, Vancouver, same shit too.
If you get drawn to play in Seattle or San Francisco, you're so lucky. Imagine you have to play in fucking Miami.
No, Miami. I think Miami likes soccer too, dude. Can you?
No, it's not that. It's just the temperature I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, when's the game? Well, where are they playing?
The World Cup is going to be in the summertime, so you want to play in.
They're playing and they're playing at Hard Rock. Yeah,
yeah. The weather's going to be.
That's going to be brutal, actually.
Yikes! Ugh,
What about Mexico City?
Well, that's
gonna be
great,
a lot
of course.
Actually, I think Miami's further south than that, though.
Yeah,
What,
I
you
wouldn't
think
want to play
Miami's further
there.
south than Mexico City?
I'd hope to
I
play in
do.
Vancouver. I'd
No
hope to play in
way.
Vancouver.
Toronto would be sick.
Toronto. You don't want
Seattle
to
would be
play in
awesome.
Miami.
Boston,
Boston would be fun, but that can get hot.
Philadelphia, the Bay Area. Yeah,
I
I'll
can
play San
remember
Francisco.
that it
I'd go
was.
to San Francisco. That would be
We were
awesome.
in a heat wave 30 years ago during it too. Like I
Jim, that's a
remember.
big no, by the way. Mexico
It's not.
City is more
Damn it.
south. It's not as dramatic as I thought, but it is more south.
I was hoping I don't know. I was fucking out.
Yeah. But Mexico City, Miami is so. Mexico City's gonna be
Yeah.
much drier though, because
Yeah.
it's not on the coast. Miami is just so fucking humid though.
Also, not to change subjects. Do you have anything else on the rundown that's important?
I mean, just
'Cause
other.
I was going to talk about Aaron Rodgers and his
Well,
comment.
that's on the rundown.
That's on the
Yeah.
rundown, Maddie.
Yeah,
Can
Maddie.
we talk about that?
Of course.
Yeah.
So, I don't understand these guys. He should really marry. Who's the chick that's married to the Prince of England?
Meghan Markle.
Yeah, she. Like, I watched the beginning of Meghan Markle's Netflix thing.
The cooking show.
No, it was her documentary.
Got
The
a
Great
new one
British
now.
Bake Off.
When they were like,
No,
we
she's
want our
cooking.
privacy, and it was all about how they're getting hounded by paparazzi. And I was just like, why the fuck are you doing a Netflix show about privacy when you're doing a Netflix show? What the fuck is wrong
Right.
with you? And Aaron Rodgers is that same dude. Like, you have a Netflix thing about your ayahuasca. You do the Pat McAfee where you need to talk to the press on your terms for an hour of your craziness. And I like Aaron Rodgers, but come on, dude.
Well,
like,
Maddie, you gotta tell the people why you're saying this, because he came out and said when he's done, which is going to be next year. He said this is last year,
mhm.
and then he said you won't see me after that. I don't want any attention. So that's what Maddie's referring
good.
to is like,
Okay,
well,
I thought
like
he was
bullshit.
just like, I read the headline and it read to me like, I don't want the extra attention or whatever. And I'm
Right.
like, you are a drama queen.
No,
You
of
did a
course. That's why
Netflix
everybody's laughing
documentary
at him.
about you. These guys, all so strange.
Jim, do you think Aaron Rodgers goes away quietly?
I mean, there is a world where I could see him just like disappearing into like just becoming a guru and just
Yeah.
like fucking off to like Peru or somewhere else.
Yeah, probably
and
like
just-
build a little thing in Costa Rica or something.
Also, wouldn't surprise me to be like he retires from football in like 7 years, where like Aaron Rodgers dies of like overdose or backpacking in a very dangerous
Right.
like area.
You know what I loved about the documentary?
I can
though?
easily see it.
To see him with like these old ladies and these weird people in Peru doing like, this is a quarterback. This is the most alpha position with like alphas like, you know, Brady, Mahomes, Lamar Jackson. Who else is a alpha dude? Peyton Manning. Like, there's something about a war of a quarterback. And he's doing all these like weird like drum circle dances.
Yeah.
It was weird. He reminded me of Randall Pink Floyd in the movie Dazed and Confused. Like, that's your quarterback? This hippie who won't sign a piece of paper
Right.
and is going to get Aerosmith tickets and has a shitty attitude?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. I don't know.
You know what I
I'll
hope?
take,
You know
I'll
what I
take
would love?
JJ McCarthy.
You know what I would love
What?
is Aaron Rodgers if he got into broadcasting. Like if he was a commentator
He
on
will.
a game.
He'll be
'Cause
very good.
He doesn't give a fuck,
He
dude.
will.
It would be hilarious
He
as
will.
a commentator.
He
I think
was
he'd be
set up
great
for
at it.
that, though. You remember, though.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, he was set up. He was gonna host Jeopardy. Might
Yeah.
run for vice president.
I
He
don't
was
care about any of that
loved-
other stuff. I just want him to commentate football because he does not give a fuck.
No. No, he
No,
really
but I'm
does.
saying, like, I
Yeah.
don't think there's a venue
No, I don't think
for
he
him
probably-
anymore.
Probably not.
Well, what happened with him was he was
Aaron
loved
Rodgers,
by the left.
OAN sports show.
He was loved by the left, and then when they
With,
found
Mike
out he
Gundy?
wasn't vaccinated,
He
was
works for
hated by the
Outkick.
ref.
Right.
Aaron Rodgers just gets a job at over at Outkick with
Yeah.
Clay Travis.
But I always find it weird when guys who have documentaries who do the whole Pat McAfee hour interview a week, which obviously puts a lot of attention on him, which he's kind of staying as like, look, I want to do these interviews on my own fucking terms. And I'm going to like, that's a very, alpha thing kind of. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But I don't think Pittsburgh's going to be very good this year. I like that Minnesota decided not to pick him up.
Yeah. It'll be interesting for sure. I think he's in a better situation at Pittsburgh, so we'll see, than he was at the Jets. Who knows?
And
but
they play.
He's
week
not going
one.
to go away quietly. I'll tell you
They
that
play
much.
week one. And
He's
to think in
addicted.
2 weeks we're gonna have training camp will be opened up. It's a glorious time. Although Jim's gonna go, Maddie, they're playing football right now.
Yeah,
They are, Maddie.
the North Korean League is on.
No, the Canadian
CFL.
League is playing, and Arena Football 1 championship this weekend. The Crown, they call it.
Oh, the Crown.
I'll wait
The
till the middle
Crown.
of November.
Battle for the Crown.
Every middle of November.
The Nashville Cats versus the Albany Firebirds.
The Albany Firebirds. I grew up near Albany, so like they were that team in the 90s and the 80s.
They're that team now. They're the best team in the league right now.
Wild.
And the Nashville Cats have maybe my favorite like logo in all of sports. It's like just this cool cat that just fucking all the time.
Fucking. How do
Dude,
You
just look at him, Matty. You
Is
just
that
look
like
at
the
him.
dirty laundry behind you?
What? Oh no, those are my costumes. I just haven't put them back up in the hanger.
Gotcha. I liked your video, the challenge with the kick that you kicked the ball.
The Manny Higuera challenge,
yeah,
also AF1.
Great.
Sorry, that Nashville Cats logo. Yeah, it's like this cat that's like the Fonz.
Yes.
He's like in a leather jacket with a guitar.
He gets
Oh, I gotta
pussy.
check that out.
Yeah.
Also, I want to recommend another channel. This dude, Matt Be Great, does these great college football videos and Where Are They Now videos.
Matt Be Great.
Yeah.
Like
check it
BE?
out.
MATTBEGREAT. He does really good college football videos, and then he'll break down like what happened to this guy, and he'll break down like classes, like he'll do like the top 30 5-star guys, and then you realize how many guys like flame out.
Are you not just into this guy for the thirst trap content, Matty?
I don't even know what he looks like. I know he's like a bald guy, but I don't know. He just makes good videos.
I don't think he's a bald guy. He looks to be in good shape.
He said he was the white Randy Moss until he blew out his knee.
Okay, I'm into it.
But he's good. You'll love him, Jim, because he does really good college football videos. Like Rod Great, Where Are They Now? Like what happened to this guy? What happened to that guy?
How'd you find him, Matty?
Just like he got in my algorithm, of like
the rise and fall of Cam Rising. Okay, okay, I'm in, Matty.
You'll be addicted. Trust me.
I'm definitely.
That's
I watch those. I get them on TikTok all the time, but I get them on YouTube too.
Like top 10 recruits of certain years.
Yeah, like ranking, like what happened to the top 15 recruits of like 2012.
I know, and he'll do these, and he'll do a guy. He did a guy the other day that was on the cover of ESPN magazine at like the 9th grade and didn't even make it to the NFL. He just did one on Shea Patterson.
Oh,
Shea Patterson was really sad because
what's he even up to?
He was like, Shea's a good guy. He just didn't make it. Like certain guys.
Hey, he had a very successful career in the CFL.
Yeah,
he's not on there anymore.
I think he got cut from the Blue Bombers this off season.
Yeah, he keeps getting cut.
I mean,
he's released during training camp on May 14th.
Now, right? Like,
he was on the Rough Riders for like a good couple seasons. He was like a decent backup.
Number 1 recruited player at one time.
He is 28, Luke.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder. Oh, he's got a kid now.
Would not be surprised to see him potentially in the UFL.
But I recommend
Would not be surprised.
This sucks because he could have made like $5 million in college and and been set for life, even no matter what he did.
Well, like a lot of guys would have been, it's like whatever year. Like I always think about when I was more popular on the internet, I could have done a Patreon like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I had those fast food videos that I could have had like, $5 a month, but it wasn't meant to be. So it is what it is.
Yeah, but you didn't keep going though. Shea Patterson
No.
kept going.
Well, he said he's going to keep going too. That was one in the video. He's like, I ain't quitting.
Oh, really?
It's sad because there was an interview with him and he just looked really down because I don't think he expected his career to go this way.
Of course not. Not when you were so heralded. I mean,
yeah, but a lot of them like guys are like just troublemakers and fuck up, and some he does like Shea in his case. He's like he's a good guy. He just wasn't good enough,
and he was good in college too.
Yeah.
He was not. He didn't.
No, he was.
There was another guy that was great.
But he still had a
He would have been
career.
If NIL was a thing when he was doing it. Luke, we would have been talking about. Damn, this guy needs to get out of college.
Yeah. Do you remember Max Brown?
Yeah. Yeah. What's that?
You remember Max Brown? He was at USC.
I don't think so.
Another quarterback that was like
sounds familiar.
Top 3.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch this Timmy Chang video too.
Yeah, this he does the best videos. They're really well done, and I recommend it. I know Jim you'll be watching all night. Your girlfriend will get mad at you, but
no, I'll wait till she goes to sleep. I'll wait till she goes.
They're fun though.
I got a lot to work on, so it's great.
All right, Maddie, we got to talk about your Celtics though. They're already trading away half their team.
The rebuild begins, baby.
I'm great with the trades. Like Porzingis was horrible, and Jrue Holiday I liked, but he was making so much money. And I was like, Porzingis versus the Knicks was averaging like a -20. Like every time he was on the floor, he was getting exposed. He was hurt. Now he could be healthier next year and everything will be back to normal. But he had a really bad playoffs. Him and Jrue Holiday both were very bad. And the Celtics, like the one thing about the Celtics, they move fast. They realize like there's no loyalty and you can't rest on your laurels. And just because you won the championship doesn't mean you're going to like win it every year, and you got to start over again. And there's rumors that they might trade their big guys and just like start over.
I was going to ask you, Maddie, like who would you not want to see traded more than any like
probably Jaylen Brown.
Okay, that's the one everyone.
So they're saying everyone's on the table except for Tatum.
Dude, I wouldn't get rid of Jaylen Brown, but he might go. I mean, Boston is weird because they were once a big market team, but you look at the Red Sox getting rid of Mookie Betts, getting rid of Devers, even though he's a head case. Betts wasn't. They used to buy players, and now they're unloading players.
Yeah. Well, that has nothing to do with the market because the way the NBA is now, they had to get out of the luxury tax because it's insane. So they had to move these guys.
Well,
the question now is like, what do you do with next season?
And
well, Tatum's out all next season too.
Yeah,
pretty much.
I like Jrue Holiday, but he's older, and I think they got the best out of him a year ago. And Porzingis, I wanted out. So, Brad Stevens is smart. I trust him, but. The Knicks and the Pacers, the Pistons, and the Magic will be the best teams, I think, next year.
Yeah, the East is coming up a little bit.
It's coming up. The Pistons and the Magic are both better.
Yeah, agreed.
I'm excited for it.
You guys want to hear an announcer that had a bad day?
Yeah, I heard this. I didn't hear it, but I knew.
This is a new one. He's trying to promote disability pride. So that's like LGBTQ plus.
Hell yeah, brother.
So let's hear what this guy has to say.
Disability Pride Night is Thursday, July 10th, and with the theme ticket, fans take home a Cardinals cap featuring the Disability Pride flag and Cardinals. Details at cardinals.com/theme.
Why would he do that?
Little slip of the tongue there.
Yeah.
It happens.
Wow. That's
Love
Nick Castellanos didn't hit a home run there.
He should have. He really should have. That would have been awesome.
Oh, man. This is a new one. We have Wisconsin Badgers are suing Miami for tampering with a football transfer. It's
I-
a new
I was listening.
world, man.
I was listening to a podcast about this for a little bit on the drive to and from work.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I know a lot of. I've heard a lot of coaches are rooting for Wisconsin in this one.
Sure.
I really don't see them winning.
Well, are there any rules with this stuff?
No, because the players don't sign contracts.
Right. So there's no case, really.
Yeah, Like,
Yeah.
unless the
They need
players
contracts.
are
They
in.
really do need to
Well,
start that shit.
the only way they do that is then the players are employees of the schools, and they really, really don't want to do that.
Well, they have that now because now the schools can pay directly.
They can pay them, but they're still not like. There's no collective bargaining. They're not like. I don't really know how it fully works.
Because
the
it's
transfer
still being formed. That's why.
Yeah.
But they do need, the players will get a union at some point.
we're just kind of like slowly inching our way to like.
Yes.
It's just the NFL but different.
No, exactly. I mean, this is that era now. I mean, it's good. It's good for the players. They need this kind of protection, but for the sake of the game, they really do need to stabilize and get contracts and really put out clearly, so these guys can't just hop around every year. Because that's one thing that made college football special is like when someone goes to your team, that's it. They're going to be on your team they're lifers, and now that's really not the case at all. You know,
that used to be like a big story when a player would transfer. Now it's a big story when a player sticks around.
that was not a thing when I was growing up watching football. That just did not happen.
Do you guys ever worry? Every time I talk about college football, I always get a little bit sad. Do you guys ever worry like the best era of college football has already happened?
Yep.
Oh yeah, it definitely has.
What
I think,
in your opinion? Because I feel like everyone has this, like the same thing as when they were a kid. When was the best era of college football for you?
The 90s,
like
man.
the 90s.
Yeah, I always like.
Go ahead, Maddie.
Be like, there was something about week 1 or 2, Michigan versus Notre Dame growing up. Like that was always, they would alternate home and away, and it always was like the smell of fall. That game was like a big deal. So there's just like nostalgic chills of that. So I'll go there.
I'll also say, like, here's the deal. It's sort of like, like make college football great again. Here's the deal. These players were not getting paid.
No. I agree with all that.
They were, and then many of them were getting paid illegally. So like, that wasn't fair.
No.
So to me, I don't really mind the changes because it's actually like, we're getting a real reality of
you gotta understand
I don't mind
in life changes. Too.
I understand that, and I don't mind the players getting paid. I'm 100% pro players getting paid. The only thing that sucks is like the transfer portal, and I feel like nowadays the only thing that dominates like most people talking about college football, it's all about the playoff. I feel like that's all anybody talks about.
Yeah, it sucks. It was really weird seeing Ohio State win the national championship when they had lost to Michigan and another team or two. Like you lost a couple games, you still won the national. So it's just kind of weird that it's a new landscape.
I've gone full contrarian and say just get rid of it. Go back to the pre-BCS.
Just let them. They call them the mythological championship, I believe, was the
the Bowl Coalition or whatever.
Yeah, the reporters would vote for who won.
Yeah, just whoever wins the AP at the end of the year. Vote before bowl season. I don't care.
I honestly, I think this is what's going on right now is kind of sucks because it's not structured properly. It's not laid out. I do think it can still be great. And I think they will make changes that hopefully cut down on a lot of these transfers soon.
I do just worry eventually, like if they do the super mega league, which it feels like it is inevitable, but we don't know when. Yeah. I worry about for the smaller schools because I love nothing more than watching like Sun Belt, MAC teams, all that stuff. I just hope they stick around so I can still watch.
They will. It'll probably be just a different league. Like the Euro soccer clubs. Like, oh, you're not in the Premier League this year. You're going to be in the Sun Belt League.
If they did relegation, that would be fucking hilarious.
Right. It would be funny. But I think to me, it's like, when people like, oh, the 60s were so great, but it's like, oh, no, you had a lot of racism and sexism and stuff. And, like, So there's real realities to even these play times that were supposed to be better. I think from just a pure, fan standpoint, I don't know, but it's just
back to the deal. So the contract, so the players are getting paid by the school, Luke.
Yes.
However, according to several contracts between Big Ten schools and their players that ESPN had previously reviewed, these deals explicitly state that athletes are not being paid to play football for the university, since the school is technically paying only to use the players' NIL rights. It's not clear if a judge will consider it fair to enforce a part of the contract that dictates where the player attends school.
That's some sort of loophole that may or may not
that how Miami
exist.
gets out of. Yeah,
I think the school likes it because then just these collectives end up paying a lot. So I don't know, but it's weird. More uplifting news there. Ric Flair has been accused of repeatedly soiling himself at Florida bars and restaurants.
You know what?
He's dying. He's
party hard.
He's just going out like he's going out with a blaze of glory.
I mean, that's kind of cool. Like you're at an age where it's like, I'm gonna get drunk. I'm not gonna leave my bar stool. I'm gonna just shit and piss myself until somebody removes me.
And ain't no one gonna do nothing about it. No. Yeah. Hit him with the woo.
Do you think he woos every time he poos?
I hope so. I hope he does. I really hope so. I hope he's just like there. What's his drink of choice?
Oh, he probably takes it. He probably does whatever they throw in front of his face.
I got to piss, boys.
All right, enjoy your piss. We'll be here.
Go piss, Maddie.
We got the NCAA now is talking about expanding. Speaking of college sports,
Jesus Christ.
Now they're talking about going up to 76. It's like, why stop there? Why not just go? Why not just start the season as a tournament? So some teams might only play one game.
Yeah, do an 800 team tournament.
Yeah. Why not? Why? Yeah. And it doesn't have to be Division I. It can be all divisions.
Why? Why do we need more than what they have? Why?
I don't know. At some point, it just is not so special anymore. And then you're going to get really bad teams in there that have no business being around,
I just don't understand why. But just to get more,
it's money, baby,
from the Big Ten and SEC and whatever.
It's always money. I don't know. It'd be kind of interesting if it was smaller schools, but it's not going to be that. So.
It won't be. Yeah. I hate this. You have the perfect thing right now.
I agree. It's
perfect.
Yes. It's 64, and then those 4 play-in teams, which will accept whatever, which I don't count as the actual tournament.
You know what? If you're going to do this, do a play-in tournament then. If you're going to do it this way, do a play-in, have the play-in tournament, and then only 4 of those teams get in.
Maddie, we're talking about that. They want to expand the NCAA tournament up to 76 teams now.
Well, more money, but it's a little gratuitous, but it's if you don't make the bubble, it's on you. That's all I gotta say.
I would say do a play-in tournament if you're going to do it that way. Just do it.
And
awful.
Jim, do you want to walk us through Emmanuel Ocho's?
Yeah. So
what is this thing?
People with the Kevin Durant trade and move.
By the way, let's just talk about that real quick. Do you guys think this puts Houston over the top?
Probably not, but it's a good trade for him.
I do think it's a good trade for him. I think they could give him some damage in the playoffs. I don't hate the move. It's short term.
This team's been on the rise. They got a great coach. Yeah. I think they could.
They could do some damage.
They could be fighting for a 2 or 3 seed this year.
But with the Kevin Durant move to Houston, It makes people talk legacy because he's been all over and what have you. Mm-hmm. So Emmanuel Ocho, genius that he is, decided to come out with a legacy formula, which is championships won divided by teams played for equals player legacy. He gave us he gave us 3 examples on here. So Steph Curry has 4 rings with 1 team. His legacy score is 4. LeBron James has 4 rings with 3 teams. His legacy score is 1.3. Kevin Durant, 2 rings divided by 5.4 legacy score.
This is so dumb. This guy's
Yeah, I can't get into this. Not after an hour. Like
Top reply though is why it's great. Kevin Durant replied,
oh good.
according to the great Kevin Durant's legacy formula that was created in the best labs at MIT, Emmanuel is the worst linebacker of all time.
Emmanuel is kind of a dipshit.
these things
man.
are all dumb.
He says some really dumb things. Like there are certain times where I'm like,
He's
I like
one
this
of
guy.
the worst commentators.
And then he will say some really dumb shit, and I'm like, God damn.
Yeah.
Like, I thought his brother was dumb, Sam Acho.
I
Sam
don't know
Acho is
brother.
infinitely more likable than Emmanuel Acho. Infinitely.
I remember when Shedeur Sanders slid in the draft, he was like he's like, he didn't code switch. And everyone's like, what's code switch? You know, you got to talk more white in interviews. And I'm like, this is the dumbest shit.
Yeah.
I mean, are you saying like Dylan Gabriel talked more white in interviews? Like,
You remember when Emmanuel Acho did those in like 2020, the conversations with a black man?
I don't
Those
really
were
know
hilarious.
the details of those.
They were hilarious.
They brought him in to host The Bachelor for a special one season when there was all this racial shit going on. And it made no sense. He doesn't like, dude.
He might have anti-charisma.
It's weird because when you look at him, he looks like he should be very likable. He's handsome. He's got a nice smile.
Dude.
But then anytime he opens his mouth, it's really bad.
Yeah.
Maddie, any last thoughts on your mind before we shut this sucker down for the week?
No, just enjoy your summer, everybody.
Well, I mean, we're going to be back next week.
Yeah, but still enjoy it.
Just keep enjoying the days of the
Watch
summer.
some CFL, baby.
Mm-hmm.
I know if Shea Patterson's not playing, I don't want nothing to
People
do with
are upset. There's potential rumors that they might try and in the offseason go to 4 downs.
Oh, but they're still at 3?
Yeah, they play 3 down football.
3 downs, right.
People are thinking they might go to 4, which
that
would upset. Well, the more similar that the CFL tries to make itself to the NFL, I think the worse for the league because it just shows like, yeah, you're just the NFL with worse players.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Do your own thing.
That's why the gimmicky things work, you know?
Yeah, do your own thing.
I agree. On that note, thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We'll see you next week for another exciting edition of the Sports Hole.